pretty massive selling off. And now it's dipping, rather it's bouncing off that dip really nicely. So we're going to try to catch that bounce. Or, well, first I want to try to fix the screen a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. That looks a little better. That's good enough. There we go. So yeah, Gale just had a pretty big selling off. Sold off once and twice. Kind of bounced off the 64-cent support, but not quite. Kind of bouncing off the 68, well, 60, 8, literally 60 and then 8-cent support. So not 68 cents, but 60, and I guess that would be 8/10 support. So it's coming back up around. See if it tests 64 cents. What I'm going to do is put an alert right under 64 cents, so we can get alerted right away if it looks good there. In the meantime, so far not too much action going on there. So we'll see. It does have some resistance to cover now to look good again. It's bouncing nicely, and yesterday Gale sold off as well and bounced really well. So we will see if it bounces. There's also a few other stocks that we're watching right now. I'll kind of run through those in just a moment. Alright, so let's take a look at some of those other stocks we're watching. So we also have SGY on the radar. SGY made some really good progress today, but it's kind of just been channeling. So we want to see it break this support, rather the resistance right around 14.10, which it did. But now we got to see it break 14.33, which we still haven't. So I do have an alert at 14.32, right around that 14.33 resistance, which would be a potential breakout to test the high of the day at 64.47. So I'm also going to put an alert right around there. So we'll see how that goes out. A few other stocks we're watching. Let me just pull up my watch list here and we'll take a look. So Dry's was another one that had a really good day. Take a look. Not a really nice looking chart overall in terms of readability. It wasn't really an easy one to play, but it did get pumped up really well. That low 54 cents, that high 67 cents. Tough one to play though. You really got to have nerves of steel to play something like that. Let's see. AXU did come up on our scanner as well. And once again, not the easiest chart to play, but it had a nice little set of gains there, nothing too crazy. I think the main one was SAEX, which we're actually still watching since it hasn't sold off too bad. Well, actually it did sell off a lot worse since I last checked on it. The last time I was watching this one was right around here, and it was just kind of testing the resistance. So it looks like it has sold off since then. About 10 minutes later, I took my eyes off this, and yeah, it's not looking so great anymore. But this thing did get pumped up. The low 12 cents, the high of the day, 28 cents. Could have made over 100%, still up 88% on the day. So we'll see. See if it bounces. I have an alert set at 24 cents, but since we're down so low now, I'm going to put an alert at about 22 cents. So if it starts to turn around, I'll get alerted, and then I'll be able to watch it for that test. But for now, let's go back to Gale and see what that's doing. So Gale is coming back around here. We're going to want to see it break 64 cents. There is a lot of resistance to cover here, so it might not turn around right away. We will definitely see. In the meantime, it's pretty much all that is on our list for now. I would like to see another play on SGY ideally, since that one does tend to read really nice technical analysis. And Gale, it has read really well technical analysis as well, but it's a little tough to play. I mean, especially once it's sold off like this. You could have scalped it off the dip. Let's see. We're looking at Gale? Yeah, there we go. So you could have scalped it right around here for the bounce, and, sold it right around here even. Right now, you could have sold it for a nice little profit, but it is a little risky since that support might not have held. But earlier, it played out real nicely. So earlier, some of our guys got in on this play, the momentum play, which is really good. I have a tough time playing those personally. You got to find what you're good at in day trading, and I realized momentum plays are not exactly my strong point. But I did manage to catch it on the breakout here. I'm a much better breakout player than a momentum player, and then I did scalp it a little bit on that breakout and also this one. So I didn't get nearly as nice of gains as they got here, but at least I got it, you know, some nice little profits on this. And we are coming up again to that 64-cent area. So let's see if it can break out there. A lot of resistance to cover on the way up, but it has bounced nicely so far from 60 cents and 8/10. Still not looking entirely bullish though, so I'm not in on it yet. Let's see. Another good one actually was Activision Blizzard, ATVI. And it almost looks like a pump and dump. Now, it looks like it really pumped hard, but you know, this was only about 39 cents to 40.71. Oh, and there's our alert for Gale. So let's go back to Gale. Gale is testing that resistance right now as we speak. RSI breaking up from oversold since we went oversold down here. And it is, you know, if it does break this resistance, I might actually go in with a small buy and a tight stop. See if I can ride it up to the next resistance level, since it isn't entirely bullish yet, so I wouldn't be buying too large of a position just to be safe. And so far it is definitely still testing. Let's see if it breaks out here. The averages are not looking great though. We're still below that 50-period average. So even if we break out, we might get denied, you know, halfway to 66 cents. So far, that resistance is not breaking. Kind of just have to wait it out here. This is like the make or break moment. Key level of resistance here. Will it break above or will it get denied again? It's definitely trying. Got some bids at 65 cents, 64.5, 63.8. Big bids coming in here at 65 cents actually. Look at that. 140 on the bid. Looks like they got filled. 65.01, next bid up. 65.01 is stacking. This thing might break the resistance here. And there it is. It broke the resistance. Look at that. Broke the resistance. Testing that 50-period average now. And I could buy in here, but okay, now it's looking pretty interesting. It just broke the 50-period average. But we're so close to 66 cents now, I don't know if I want to buy in just yet. This is definitely an interesting moment here. It broke out of that resistance, testing the 50-period average. The bids all stacking at 65 cents. Huge bid at 65 cents there. So I might, you know what, I'm going to put a little stab at 65 cents myself. Nothing too crazy. And look at that, actually just kind of dropped. Let's see. I'm putting a buy in at 65 cents. Let's see if I fill. So I did fill a really small order, and I'll scale in as we approach the 66 cent resistance. But it is kind of shaky here. That's why I don't feel too confident in, like, you know, putting in too much money on this yet. And look at that candle. It did actually touch the 66 cent resistance, and it closed about less than halfway down. So not the best candle to have. And I'm going to put my stop loss. Oh, wait. Look at that. Testing 66 cents now. It's definitely getting interesting here. Definitely getting interesting. So far, we're denied at 66 cents. Let's see if it breaks out. So I haven't actually put my stop loss up yet. I was just about to do that when that alert went off. So I'm going to put it in now. You know, pretty close to that 60. Let's go with 63.8. So I'm not risking that much money if I get stopped out on that original buy. And I'll scale in if we break 66 cents and test the high of the day. So far the asks are not stacking up too much. We have 150 at 67.12. So So if we break 66 cents, we could see it run to 67.12 and maybe fall off there when that ask gets filled and the shares sell off. With enough buying pressure, though, that's really not too many. 150 isn't the end of the world. And there we are, 66 cents. I'm going to scale in a bit more here. 65.9. Putting in a buy at 65.9. Might not fill. And I did actually just fill there. Filled there. Testing 66. Wow, this is getting kind of sketchy. But I think it is going to break out. So I could actually raise my stop loss to be safe. Let's see. $65.4, $65.9. Oh, don't like that red candle. Let's see. Yeah, I'm actually gonna leave my stop loss for now. Come on, break out. You can do it. Just need a few more bids coming in. That's the only thing making me nervous right now is the bids are not great here. So I'm gonna raise my stop actually. Just to be safe. But we just need some more bids. Everything else is looking pretty bullish here. Oh, we're getting denied. Come on, come on. Oh, there's a huge ask that just came in there. This is definitely a fight. It's tough to say where to put a stop loss at this point, though, because the safest place would be at the next area of support, which we're pretty far away from right now. And if I put my stop loss too close, I might get stopped out right before this thing breaks 66 cents. So it was risky where I bought in there. I was really banking on the fact that this resistance would break kind of right when I bought in. So far, it hasn't done that, which is not great. But, I mean, these candles are looking pretty good. If this one stays green, well, it's red, but it is a pin bar candle, so, you know, it's not terrible. So I'm gonna raise my stop loss now, and I'll look for another entry. So I'm gonna put my stop loss at, let's see, 65.2, 65.4. I'm gonna put my stop loss at 65.4, which we're really close to. But I don't want to risk getting played down to the next area of support, so I'll take a small loss if I get stopped out here, and then I will re-enter. I'm literally... Oh, I think I just got stopped out. Yeah. Yeah, I just got stopped out. We'll see. I didn't really lose much on that stop at all. I pretty much broke even, if anything, right there. Lost tiny bit of money. But it's better than getting played somewhere else. So let's see what happens. 65.2. Okay, so far that stop was working out nicely. Putting another alert back at 65.96 if we test 66, and I'll play the breakout. But the averages are starting to look better. This thing could definitely still break the resistance. I just wanted to play it safe there, so stopped out for a really tiny loss just to play it safe, and we will look for an entrance if it breaks out. But the bids just, it was everything, all the indicators were looking good, but the bids just weren't coming in. That's the problem we had. So let's see. So we do have some good bids around 63.8, and that's kind of far away. So we need them to stack closer to 65 cents. So far that hasn't happened. RSI still not looking great. Oh, look at that red candle. Looks like that was a good time to get stopped out so far. Just what I was afraid of. Coming down to test that 64-cent support. Yeah, 64 cent. Brush Up is saying he's looking at, you know, playing the bounce at 64 cents, which is not a bad idea at all. It could bounce off there. The averages are still not looking bad. They're looking better than they were over here when we bounced, so I could definitely see it bouncing off 64 cents. RSI is still not looking great, though. I think I might adjust these settings on the RSI, to be honest. These are more for like longer term plays, the 14, 70, 30. So adjusting those wouldn't be a bad idea for more of a day trading setting. So far, we are not bouncing. 64 cent support, just touching it. Let's see if it bounces here. I have alerts on those other stocks I mentioned too. So far, those haven't gone off. So really, Gale is the only thing to kind of watch here. And the bids are, let's see. The bids are definitely not looking great either. You know, we wanted to see them stacked around 65 cents, and we got 63.90, 62.95, 62.5, 62.12, 62, 62, and then all below 62. That's funny. Alright, this candle's not looking bad though. Some bids coming in at 64 too, okay. See what happens. $64.21, $64.22, slowly stacking up here. I think I'm going to run the scanner and see if there's anything else to kind of take a look at. See what comes up on the scanner here. AXU, which we've already seen. I guess we could check SAEX, see how that's coming. Let's see. SAEX still not really bouncing yet. Yeah, it's a shame. It did have a nice chance at breaking out right here. Since we had that nice U-shaped pattern. You know, it didn't sell off like it did over here, where you just saw a massive selling off. It broke this support and made that nice U, so it really was looking like it could have broken out right here on that test, but it got denied pretty hard, so unfortunately that one is looking boring. Let's take a look back at Gale, see if it's making any progress. Gale. Oh, look at that. It is actually bouncing a little bit. So we'll keep our eyes on Gale for now. This might get interesting again. Gale's definitely coming back around. Might take another stab at it. It's not entirely bullish yet, but it's not looking terrible. Josh Yoon, this is Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade, also known as TOS. And Brush Up says in chat, this may bounce here, which is funny because we were just saying that. It is tempting to kind of take a stab at it here. Really, if it can break 66 cents, that's where it's going to run. So anything buying here is kind of a gamble. Or plummet back to 61 cents. Yeah, exactly. The breakout at 66 cents will be the most ideal entry. Just difficult, since it might run too much to fill on an order there. That's what I'm typing to him. So yeah, breakout at 66 cents is the most ideal entry, but if we get, you know, close to 66 cents and all these bids come pouring in, then we might not get filled on our buy. So it's really a trade-off. And it is struggling here. It bounced so nicely at first, like it sold off. It went staircase mode, boom, boom, and then it bounced so nicely here. I guess I should have played it there in hindsight. Actually, wow, that would have been a really good play. 61 cents to about 65.5 cents. That's, you know, a good 7-8%. That would have been a beautiful bounce play. That's a shame. But my indicators were still pretty bearish there, and by the time they started turning around, it wasn't really an optimal entry. And then the other problem is, once we were testing this resistance here for the next potential breakout, you know, we tested it once, still wasn't looking too good, tested it twice, and it was looking better, almost thought of getting in there, and then look at that candle. It went from, it pretty much covered the entire channel, so we couldn't really get in there either. That's just the kind of stuff that happens when you're day trading. You know, sometimes you'll miss entries because of things like that, and there's really nothing you can do unless you want to take the risk of kind of buying mid-channel, but that is always a pretty risky thing to do since you can't really set a good stop loss. And, you know, if you bought at the bottom of the channel, you'd have more potential profits if you sold at the top of the channel. And if you bought it at the top of the channel, you'd have a better idea if it's going to break out or not. So buying mid-channel is just kind of, you know, not really the best thing to do. There are times for it, depending on your trading strategy, but in general, it's pretty difficult. Yeah, if we break out from 66 cents, I think we will probably run to that high of the day fairly easily at 67.8. So that'd be a nice, almost 2-cent profit there. What would that be? Let me look that up. Let's see, do some quick arithmetic. So 66 to 67.8. That'd be a nice 2.72% scalp. Not terrible. Because there was some like really large asks at 67.8, and they're kind of gone now. But whoever is owning those shares that put that ask there, and it might not be one person, it could be multiple people, of course. But there's definitely going to be a lot of sellers at the high of the day, right around 67.8. So though there's not too much actual resistance there, it is going to be a difficult area to break because people will take profits there. But at the same time, it'll be a really clean ride. I mean, I will take a nice clean 2.7% day trade, and it'll happen probably within literally a minute to 3 minutes, probably a minute to 2. So to make 2.7% on your money in like 2 minutes is really good. I'll take that. But so far, Gale is not looking great now, unfortunately. It failed to break out. It's just kind of channeling. So I guess we could kind of be scalping it in between the channel here, like off the support, but I mean, brokerage fees and risk for that amount of gains, not entirely worth it, really. I mean, that wouldn't really be much profit at all. So let's run the scanners and see what else is kind of on the radar. CNAT. Let's check out CNAT. Oh, wow, look at that thing. That thing got pumped up hard. Running like almost 20% there in a few minutes, in like 10-minute period. Then falling off like a pump and dump would, really. See what that trend line would look like. So not terrible for another breakout, but the volume's all dried up, so technical analysis in this case isn't really going to be too accurate when the volume is that low. You can see all the volume came in here. 28,000, 28,000, 47,000, 79,000, 74K, 37K, and now it's kind of just floating around the hundreds and low thousand range, so not a great one. Let's see what else we can find. Check SGY out, that one was looking good earlier. Another unfortunate case, SGY broke the resistance here, got denied here, kind of channeled, and now it's breaking down, so that's not looking good either, really. Let's go back to Gale, see what's up with that. Gale pushing up slowly, but not too great. But still, this is definitely one to kind of keep an eye out for because it's ran for like 3 days in a row now. And you can see the volume just poured in right there. Volume poured in. Volume poured in. Ton of volume out of nowhere, here and here. And then, of course, earlier in the day, look at all the volume. Ton of volume there and there, over here, over here. So it kind of goes from like these dry spells, and then a ton of people will just buy it, and it'll just kind of get pumped. Not a pump and dump by any means, but that's how it's been breaking resistance, you know? Like, let's see, a good example is right here. Perfect example. You can see it was kind of testing the resistance this entire area. Couldn't break above, couldn't break above, couldn't break above. And then on this candle, all that volume came in. You can see the volume was pretty low down here. Oh, whoa, hold on. Down there is pretty low. And then all the volume pours in out of nowhere, breaks the resistance that time. And then that's what kind of started this entire run up to the high of the day. So it's definitely kind of one to just watch out for. Let's see. Boring Friday. I'm on pins and needles with Gale. Yeah. Well, Fridays tend to be, pretty low volume anyways. Well, thanks for subscribing, man. Sorry if I'm getting back to you kind of late on those messages. I do not stream every day, no. But I stream fairly often. Yeah, not every day, though. Depends. I do stream multiple times throughout the week. Let's see. Yeah, I don't normally stream on Fridays because they're kind of low volume, but there's been some interesting runners, and specifically Gale is a really interesting one. Let's see. Just in case some of you guys watching are not really too familiar with Gale, let's just kind of go back and take a look. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. And you can see here's what started the Gale story off recently. So, we're trading around $2. Boom. Had some news come out. If I recall correctly, they canceled one of their clinical trials because the progress just wasn't good or something like that. But the TLDR is they canceled the clinical trial, made that press release. This thing sold off from $2, dropping all the way down to 37 cents. Oh my god. What a loss of equity. And then it kind of fell off here. Made that low of 27.5 cents. And then it actually bounced back really nice. But we have to kind of go back to the 1-minute chart to see that. But first, let's kind of see what's happening right now. It is moving up again. So we're going to go back and take a look. I think we have time. So let's go back. All right. Back to what we were looking at, the Gale story. So here we are. All right. It's kind of hard to see. Like, these candles are... The chart is really hard to see here. I apologize. But you guys will get the idea. So like 33 cents, 39 cents. This thing was being scalped all day. It doesn't look like it covered a lot of distance, but you can see on the side, like, it actually wasn't too bad. And then here, it sold off some more, 27.5. Ran back up to 29 cents. And then here, it started running. So we went from that low of 27.5, hit almost 30 cents there, broke 30 cents over here, and then towards the end of the day here, let's see, where would that be? Back over here. Oh, there we go. Now the chart's actually looking normal. It's weird. Sometimes Thinkorswim acts up. But yeah, now it's much easier to take a look at. So we had that low of 27.5, and boom, ran all the way to 36 cents. Pretty nice recovery there. I mean, it's still far away from $2, but a very nice bounce for a really nice day trade. The next day, we ran from the open 36 cents, 44, fell down a little bit, hit 48 cents, almost 49, and then from here on it was like perfect for scalping it and playing these bounces. It sold off here, bounced right back up, made a new high of the day, and then it had a little bounce here where you could have scalped it. All along here you could have been scalping this thing, and then ran once again, made a new high of the day, fell off again, and then went from the 46 cent channel to the top at 48 cents, so another scalping opportunity. And that brings us to today, where it has ran again from opening around 49 cents, high of the day, about 67 cents. So the last 3 days, this thing has been kind of crazy. That's why it's definitely one to keep a watch out for. Huge gap of potential. If we go to the 1-hour chart, you can see, due to the selling off that we had, there's really not that much resistance. I mean, the top is going to be right around almost $1. And if we can break that, we might be able to gap up all the way to $2. So huge potential there. So far, it has been gapping up really nicely. It hasn't, I wouldn't say it's like recovered yet, since we went from $2 and we're still trading at 65 cents. But it is bouncing really well. And it is starting to gap up really well, So we'll see. It could continue this momentum all the way to about $1. And then we're going to have some serious resistance there. Now, I'm not saying it's good to hold it until $1. I mean, obviously, like for example, over here, it has sold off a bit. But if you are not really day trading it, which I think is actually the safest thing to do, is to day trade this, because it reads pretty well technical analysis and you can still catch really nice profits. But I'm pretty confident there are actually some people who bought that dip and are holding from like 30 cents and are still holding it, waiting for it to gap up all the way to $1 or $2. There's definitely people who play it like that, which is a little more risky in my opinion. I mean, It's not really something I'd want to be holding overnight or anything like that. But there are people that will, and that goes back to finding, what you're comfortable with, what you're good at in terms of day trading or swing trading, your investing style. And Gale is looking interesting again. We're actually almost testing that 66-cent resistance. Let's zoom in back to Gale. You can see the bids are starting to come in, 65.68, 64.2. Just got the alert, 66 cents. We are testing it here. Now is the time where I gotta decide if I want to buy it or not. And it is tempting. I might buy it with a tight stop. I'm really worried if I don't buy it here, it's going to be too late. So I'm going to buy it with a really tight stop. I don't want to have a huge candle go off and I miss the entry. That would kind of suck. So I'm putting in an order. So far I have not been filled. Oh, I just got filled there. And I'm going to put a really tight stop on this in case we don't break out. Let's see. So actually, as I was putting my stop in, we already hit the area where I would have been stopped out on. So now I'm kind of conflicted. I think it could break out here. I don't really want to put a stop, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to put a stop loss here. I will have a mental stop loss in my mind, somewhere around like the low 65-cent area. If we start getting there, I might sell to be safe, and I will take a little bit of a loss, but gotta risk something. And it is looking like it wants to break out. You can see the volume is coming in. A lot of eyes are on this now. So we have the volume coming in. The bids are not stacking too nicely yet. But it's still, it's still testing. We could see it. Could see it break out. And I will put a sell for like, let's see. I'm going to put my limit sell in already. 65. What was that high of the day? 65.78, was it? 67.8, I mean. Yeah, 67.8. So I'm going to put a sell at like 67.5 just to be safe. All my shares, 67.5. We'll see if this works. I mean, the averages are all looking really good. The RSI isn't looking that great, but like I said earlier in the stream, the settings on this RSI right now are kind of wacky. They need to be like slower, or faster settings, I mean. But the averages are looking pretty good. They're looking really good, actually. The candles are looking pretty good. The volume was looking good, and then it just kind of all stopped. What's up with that? We're literally bouncing at 66 cents. All it takes is like a few big orders to come in here, and this thing will break 66 cents. I'm at a little bit of a profit now, but hardly. But I'm feeling more bullish than bearish on it right now. And here we go, 66 cents, testing it again. Come on, come on. Everything's looking good. We just need some volume. That's all we need. The indicators are looking good. Got some nice bids coming in at 65.99. If we can start seeing the bids stack around 65 cents or higher, I'll be really happy. So far, we just have all those bids at 65.99 and then 64.42. So I want to see some more around 65. Come on. Let's see, is this going to be... I mean, this could be a double top, so it is not guaranteed to break, of course, but it still looks more like it will than it won't. Ooh, we're getting a doji on this one, so we might see some price volatility. Turned into a red candle, though. Pretty lame. Oh, no. Red candle. Looking worse. Let's see if it bounces. If not, I might sell for a little loss. A lot of volume on that red candle. Indicators are starting to look a little worse. The bids are lowering. Looks like the breakout might not happen. I'm going to put a stop. This time I will put a stop loss. We're getting close to where I would have a stop. 65.2. Let's go 65.2. Thinking of putting a stop loss at 65.2. We're pretty close to being stopped out, though, if I do. If I put it, like, any lower, though, it's a pretty big loss. Yeah, I'm going to put my stop at 65.2. Not too bad of a loss if I get stopped out. I'm at almost break even right now. I guess I could kind of just sell here. Maybe that's what I should do. Just kind of break even and buy in again if we test 66 cents. Might be the best thing. $65.42. $65.41. It's a tough call. $65.4. Yeah, so my stop is set at 65.2, but I'm tempted to just kind of sell here. And I got to make up my mind quick because we're going to see some action in just a second, most likely. This green candle's actually... Oh, it stopped me out. There we go, I got stopped out. Well, looks like my decision was made for me, huh? Oh well. It was a little risky playing that breakout there, but it almost happened. We had good volume, but then it really... That was weird. Like, the volume came in... Let's see. If we review what just happened. We bought in right around here. Oh wait, it's the wrong thing. So we bought in right around here. Then all the volume came in, and it was looking pretty good. And then it just, you know, the next few candles had like no volume at all, which kind of sucked. If we had good volume, like if we had the same amount of volume that we had there on the next few candles, definitely would have broken out. But the volume dried up there, and it didn't really break out. So it's unfortunate. So now we're 0 and 2 on Gale, which is a shame. I did get some profits on it earlier in the day trading it, so I'm still up for the day, but I'm almost at break even now, which is kind of lame, but oh well. It happens. I'll definitely still look to re-enter this again if we test 66 cents. Someone's posting in my chat, is it too late to ride the Gale train? So I'm going to tell them what just happened to me. Alright, so let's see. Good old MGT had a pretty good day earlier on, too. Let's take a look at MGT real quick, just kind of reflect on that. MGT, see, it really just, look at those candles it had, just huge candles. From 369 to 377, and then from 376, 384, And then this one, the next two rather, 380 to right about 394. So high of the day right around 407, low of the day right around 352. So MGT would have been a great day trade today as well. I did miss out on that one, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do while we're waiting is make some coffee real quick. Just take like 1 second. Be right back in just a second. I need coffee. It's too early for this stuff. Just to clarify, I am making instant coffee. I do have a coffee machine, but kind of lazy, and we're watching Gale, so I don't know if you guys can hear the microwave in the background. Hopefully not, because it might be kind of annoying, but let's see. This guy says, screw it, I'm going in 3,000 shares at 65 cents. Let's see where this takes me. Dr. Snagglepuss says that. Man of Steel. Well, I couldn't recommend him to buy at 65 cents. I mean, legally I can't recommend or like tell you to buy or sell anywhere. I'm giving you my opinion. In my opinion, buying at 65 cents is not a good idea right now. You want to play either the bottom of that channel or the up of the channel. That's why we bought at like right around 66 cents. You know, we played the breakout. If it didn't break out, we stopped out with a pretty tight stop. The stop loss wasn't as tight as I would have put it. I mean, if you guys remember, like I think I was talking about putting my stop loss real tight right after I got filled. And then we kind of had like some red candles there, and it was already kind of too close to where I wanted to put my original stop loss, so I had to go with a little bit of a looser stop. I think it was 65.4. I was going to put it like 65.7 or so. So that didn't work out too well. Took a little bit more of a loss than I wanted to, but let's see. That was still 60. I got filled at like 65.9. Put my order in for 66. It filled me just a little lower, 65.4. So I took actually less than a 1% loss on that trade, so not bad at all. And Dr. Snagglepuss says he bought at 65. Dr. Snagglepuss, I can't believe I'm saying that. The guy bought at 65 cents, and look, he would have if he waited, he could have put an order in at the support level right there at 64 cents because it just dipped. So that's what he should have done, really. Is he should have waited. He could have got filled at 64 cents there, and he'd have a much better cost basis. Now on the 5-minute chart, the trend is still up very nicely. You can see all the averages are really good. Only recently are we seeing a convergence with the 20 and the 10 period moving average. And the RSI was, even on these settings, the RSI was looking good on the 5-minute chart. I mean, it was pretty much overbought the entire time. And that's what we want to see. I don't know if you guys have watched my RSI tutorial video, but there's a lot of people that will tell you that the RSI is bearish when it's overbought. This is a perfect example of that not being the case. I mean, look at this. The whole time we were above the 80 line, pretty much overbought the entire time. We dipped down barely, but like pretty much the entire time we're overbought. And that's when we saw this thing run. And only recently have we gone below the 80 line, and that's where we're seeing this choppy action. So these are not even the best settings for the RSI. This is like the basic, I think, standard settings, which is, you know, fine and well, but it's more for trading like the daily chart and stuff like that. On an intraday level, you probably want to make them a little faster. So I would just recommend kind of trying around like different settings on that and seeing how you like it. I mean, the RSI, the general settings are still perfectly fine, but for day trading, they are not optimal. I'll put it that way. Oh my god. Big red candle right here. Dr. Snagglepuss, I really wish you didn't buy at 65 cents. Hopefully you didn't get filled. Oh, it bounced really well, though. That's pretty crazy. Well, oh wow, that candle almost looked like it bounced, but not quite. So this is a good thing we had our stop loss up. I mean, look at that. If we didn't have a stop loss, we would be at a pretty significant loss right now. This thing's trading at about 64 cents right now. We got stopped out at 65.4, right around there. So, not too shabby. And actually, I'm looking back on my order, and I actually got filled. Here's how it went down. I actually got filled at 65.93. And my stop loss at 69 or 65.4 actually got filled at 65.2. So let's see what I actually lost. Let's see. 65. Wait, what? I think I said that all wrong. I got filled at 65.93. And my stop loss at 65.4 filled me at 65.2. So actually I had a little bit more of a loss than I thought. I lost 1.1%, not 79% or so. That's a shame. A little bit worse of a loss than I thought. That's the thing about the stop loss. It won't always fill you where you're expecting it. Like we thought it was gonna, I put the stop loss at 65.4. It filled me at 65.2. That will happen. And that's just more of a reason why you want to have a tight stop. As tight as you think is good, you run the risk of getting stopped out and then the thing running if you have a tight stop, which is true. That could happen, and it does happen. At the same time, when you get stopped out, there's a good chance you will get stopped out lower than where you put the stop loss. So if you have not so tight of a stop loss and it sells off, you could get filled even worse than you expect on a stop loss that's already, pretty loose, which it makes your loss that much worse. So it's really a trade-off. Do you want to risk more money, or do you want to risk getting stopped out right before the thing runs? But so far that stop loss worked out really well. And of course we can re-enter if it looks bullish. So far it works out. Alright, looks like that coffee is just about ready. Yes, I get it, microwave. Come on. Alright, there we go. Nothing like some fresh coffee in the morning. Gotta love it. Let's take a look back at SAEX. So Gale, we're going to put an alert right below that resistance so we can see if we can play it again. RSI all oversold. Let's go to SAEX. Bouncing a little bit, but still not looking great. Making lower lows. I think I'll pass. SGY, let's take a look. SGY, still floating right below that resistance. Can put an alert right below this area. Let's see. Red Firebird in chat says, I would buy now. Now, I don't know if he's watching this live stream right now. It says, looks like it might start to push back up. Now here's the problem I have. And I don't think he's in the stream. So this is between you guys and me. Well, this guy, he joined our chat room fairly recently. And he admits to being very new to trading. And it just doesn't sit too well with me that he's telling people that he thinks it might push back up. Now granted, he says, I would buy now, not you should buy now. But still, when you're new to trading and I'm trying to say this politely, you're not too experienced in trading, it's kind of misleading people when you're posting in a chat room saying that you would buy now. Because some people might actually, take that advice, or it might influence their decision. When you're playing around with money like this, you're not, playing around with it is a bad word to say. When you're, trading with real money, it shouldn't really be a game like that, really. You got to take it a little more seriously than that. There was this one story by another trader, pretty well-known trader, and one of the guys in his chat room was taking loans out to day trade, and this guy ended up, I think, in $80,000 worth of debt, and he owed interest on some of that as well. All right, so no, it was he ended up, in debt for $80,000. He lost 80K, and some of that was from loans that he owed interest on. So not the whole 80K, but he did take out some loans, which was part of the 80K, and he lost a total of 80K and is paying interest on the part of that 80K that was a loan. So could you imagine? That would be a terrible position to be in. The guy has a wife and kids, and that's why this stuff, is not really, you got to treat it more seriously than that. Unless you have a ton of disposable income and you're like, whatever, but if you're at the point where you're trying to make it work by taking out loans, that's not a good idea at all. Terrible idea. And his wife is staying with him from what I heard, so he found a good wife at least. That's pretty insane, I'm not saying that they should get a divorce over that, but I could definitely see that causing some issues when you're, especially because in marriage, like your assets are supposedly linked and everything. I've never been married. I don't really know that much about it. That's what I hear. Your assets are linked, so I'm sure like some of that 80K was her 80K. It wasn't all his money that he was gambling with. So just pretty messed up story. The guy ended up never trading again. He quit it. He said he wasn't trading logically, and he realized it was more of a gambling addiction for him, so he was done trading. And at least he knew when to stop. It was a little late in the game, but that was kind of like a real life stop loss. We put stop losses on trades, and sometimes you got to put a stop loss in real life on something, and that's pretty much what happened there. So Gale is rebounding a bit. Let's see. Go back to Gale. Oh, and look at that. Right when we went back to Gale, our alert went off. It is testing that 64 cent area. Bounced real well off 62.2. Let's see. Could we have made some support there? Let's see if there's some light support there. It's a little lower, but I think there could be some light support right around here. Let's see. Probably right around here. So I'm going to make this a segmented line. That's just how I identify light support and light resistance. Basically a pivot point. That's a light pivot point, these segmented lines. Alright, so we have some light support around 62.2 now that we know that. And we're testing that resistance, so this could be the new channel for now. This thing's still not looking great. The problem we have now is on the 1 minute, we have the 50 period, above the 20 period, above the 10 period. Which is not good. Oh, and actually look at that. The orange line is the 100 period moving average. So I might not be playing Gale based on that. The averages are not looking good. There's a lot of resistance. So when we were looking at, the breakout over here, let's take a look at the averages. When we were playing Gale right over here, we still had the bullish order on the averages. We had the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, the red. That is the order we want to see. And it was looking good. We had some good candles. The volume came in, and then it dried up, and that's why we sold off. Probably a lot of people had stop losses, kind of like I did. And when we didn't break out there, they sold, which is what I was considering. I was like, should I just sell here and kind of break even? I ended up not doing that, and I did stop out for a little bit of a loss. So in hindsight, selling there for break even would have been better. But that's what happened. We didn't break out. People decided to sell. Other people got stopped out when those people sold, and that's why we fell off here. Now, we are bouncing a bit, but look at the averages. They're not good. Like we already mentioned, we have the yellow and the orange, which are basically converged, and then we have the green and the blue. So these averages can act as trailing resistance. Now, this is the 1 minute chart. Let's check out the 5 minute chart. On the 5 minute chart, it is still looking pretty good. The blue and the green averages are still converged like they were 20 minutes ago. And we still have the yellow above the orange above the red. So, it really isn't terrible overall. We're still up 39.58% on the day. If you're playing a really quick day trade or scalp, which is what I tend to normally do, it's not looking like the best place to buy in. Now, if you're looking more to kind of buy and hold for a few hours or so and still make it a day trade, but a longer term day trade in terms of selling it maybe in an hour or two from now, it might not be too bad of an idea since everything's still good. But it could get worse. The green could cross above the blue. Right now they are still converged, so the price action is pretty indecisive. The bulls and the bears are pretty much even. The bears are winning slightly. If the bulls were winning, it would still be blue above green. So the bears are winning, but not by too much. And back to the 1 minute chart. So far, we haven't been able to break that resistance. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Alright, so last time we were looking at chat, it was Dr. Snagglepuss who bought it at 65 cents. I still can't get over that guy's name. So he said, screw it, I'm going in. 3K at 65. Let's see where this takes me. And he is still at a pretty mean loss. Let's see. 65 cents. Oh, it's breaking above now. 64.12. Okay. Okay, not bad. So he's at a 1.35% loss now, and it is coming up. So that goes back to the 5 minute chart, 5 minute chart having a bit more merit than the 1 minute chart. You can see our averages are starting to come around now, but orange and yellow still right here. So these can act as trailing resistance, and as we see here, it kind of is not breaking above these averages just yet. Let's see. And actually, Dr. Snagglepuss just posted, I jumped in at 65. I've got some tough decisions to make. So I should probably weigh in here and kind of give my opinion. So I'm going to do some quick math. Let's see, if he placed his stop loss right below, right around 63.9, what kind of loss would that be? What do we say that would be? 63.9? He'll stop out with just a 1.69% loss or so. Alright, so I said, yo, Dr. Snagglepuss, you can place a stop right below this resistance, somewhere around 63.9 or so. If it doesn't hold the support, might drop down more and you'll stop out with just a 1.69% loss. And if it holds support, well, you'd be back to break even or more. So that's probably the best thing to do, in my opinion, of course, all opinion here. You got the support right around 64. Alright, so let's see what happens. That's probably what I would do. That's my opinion. And I'm going to put at the end, of course, just my opinion, and a little winky face. Let's see, is there a winky face on here? Well, a thinky face will do well, too. Let's see. We'll do the thinking face. Fuck it. Pardon my French. And we are testing 64-cent support. He says he's tempted to buy more. Oh god, he says, I'm tempted to buy more. There's such a bullish sensation just being in this chat. Not really that's not a good attitude, man. This guy just joined the chat today. I don't want to be mean to him, but I'm glad he's not watching the stream right now. You guys can kind of just hear this discussion with me. But yeah, he says, I'm tempted to buy more. There's such a bullish sensation just being in this chat. That's really not a good idea. If you're bullish on it, be bullish on it because the chart looks bullish. Don't be bullish on it because you're in the chat and, you feel, I don't know how to put it. You guys know what I mean. So I'm not sure how to say that to him without coming off as a jerk, really. And if he took my advice, he probably would have got stopped out right now, actually, based on these last few candles. So he would have been stopped out with a really tiny loss. Let's see what happens. I mean, it might bounce back. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen 100% of the time. Who does? No, 100% of the time. Nobody. but he would have taken a minimal loss and he could look for a safer entrance. He bought mid-channel. It's funny, we were talking about buying mid-channel, earlier on in the video, and this guy ended up doing just that. He bought at 65 cents mid-channel, and now he's kind of in an awkward position. Luckily, it did bounce back from this low here, but it's still, it's still not looking too great. It's not looking terrible, especially the 5-minute chart, which is still... Look at that. Actually, the 5-minute chart is getting a bit worse. If it doesn't bounce soon, that 5-minute chart is going to be getting ugly. You can see on the 5-minute chart, the green just barely crossed over the blue. So, while it's still not bad, it is getting worse. So basically, you're just fighting more of an uphill battle. And we see some red here, so it's selling off some more. I had recommended, in my opinion, that he should put a stop somewhere around 63.9 or 63.8, right around there. And now if he stops out, he's taking a significantly larger loss. Now, of course, this might bounce back eventually, but I think it's better to take a really tiny loss and look for a re-entry than, possibly be bag holding this thing. Because though there's a good chance it'll bounce back, Gale has been extremely bullish throughout the last 3 or 4 days that we took a look at, 3 days now. It's never a guarantee. So I still haven't replied to this guy. I'm tempted to buy more. There's such a bullish sensation just being in this chat. How should I handle this situation? This is tricky. I'll just say I'll just say, like, in my opinion, I would always rather get stopped early and look for a re-entry upon a better, and look for a re-entry than be stuck in a bad situation. Can still be bullish on it, but nothing wrong with getting out with a tiny loss and looking for a more optimal area to buy back in. That's probably what I'll say. I'm going to read back over that real quick. In my opinion, I would always rather get stopped early and look for a re-entry than be stuck in a bad situation. Can still be bullish on it, but nothing wrong with getting out with a tiny loss and looking for a more optimal area to buy it. That's what I'll say. That's pretty good. Sending that message, see how he reacts. See what he says. I'll let you guys know what he says. I'm kind of curious. It's too bad there's not more action going on. Really, all we can watch is Gale right now. Fridays tend to be kind of low on volume and everything, unfortunately. So, not too much action. Fridays are just kind of like that. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Let's see. Just sent an invitation to Woodrow. I'm not going to say your whole email, but Woodrow. Don't know if you're in the stream, but your invitation is sent, so keep an eye on your email. Brushup says, I don't have the chart in front of me. How's the trend looking? Well, still up nicely for the day overall. Intraday is getting a bit shaky. All right. Gale pick. He doesn't have the chart in front of him, so I'm just going to take a screenshot of it and post it for him. Not that that'll really help him day trade, but you still kind of see it. All right, cool. Yay! What's up, Woodrow? All right. So Gale, what a stock this thing is. Coming back around, testing 66 cents again. So far, it's gotten denied twice in the last 2 minutes. Definitely some tough resistance there to break. The averages are getting worse and worse and worse on the 1 minute. Now, if you guys remember, you know, they were converged around here. And now we have the 100 above the 50 period. Still above the 200. So, you know, we could still bounce. Once we get below the 200 on the 1 minute chart, then things are looking really tough. Let's see if there's an example of that. Right here, actually. Pretty good example. So you can see we fell below the 200-day average. And we didn't really ever break the resistance again that day. So if the 200 period crosses above our candles, or our candles, you know, fall below it, whatever, then the resistance gets really amplified, and then it's going to be real hard to break out. Let's see, SGY. SGY, also coming close to that 200-day average. SAEX, the other stock we were watching, was up 100%, starting to come close to the 200-day average. So everything is really coming to a kind of a halt here. Let's check out ATVI. ATVI, unfortunately, fell below that 200-day moving average on the 1 minute. So that's making me really sad. I was really hoping it would stay above $39.99, and I actually do want to put a price level there, because that was the lifetime high previously. And we did break that lifetime high today, so round of applause for Activision Blizzard. Made a new lifetime high today. $40.71 is the current lifetime high for ATVI. But massive selling off, you know. Had that high of the day and then fell down really hard. Pretty unfortunate. Fell back down below the previous lifetime high. Yesterday, we actually came 1 cent away from testing that lifetime high. So I think that lifetime high was back in December. Let's see. Go to the 2-hour chart. All right, right here. Wait a second, what's this? 48. Oh, that was after hours. But the lifetime high during trading period was $39.99. Let's see where that was. There we go. So it was like back in, yeah, the end of December. December 29th, we were at $39.99 ATVI. And then yesterday we were at $39.98, 1 cent away. Didn't break it yesterday. Today we finally broke it. And unfortunately, we fell back down below. That's pretty sad. So I'm sad for Blizzard, but it's still... Well, it's actually at 0. It's not up at all. It's not red, it's not green, it's at 0. So we'll see. Hopefully it goes back to green. That'd be cool. And now, look at that. Up 0.03%. And we'll go back to Gale and take a look. So Gale got denied at that soft resistance, falling down to some soft support here at 62.2. Awesome to hear that, man. Very good. All right. never a bad time. Alright, so Gale still struggling, bouncing back a little bit. It's kind of just channeling, not too much action going on here. It does look more and more bearish. Eventually we'll have that 200-day cross if it doesn't start bouncing pretty hard soon. There's really not much else to take a look at, unfortunately. Sorry, the stream's getting kind of boring here. You know, Friday's pretty low volume, so not much going on. Oh, it looks like my, what happened there? Looks like the level 2 got kind of messed up. What the heck? What happened to the level 2? Gotta fix that. Let's see. I just noticed that. There we go. That's better. Fixed it. It was like showing time and sales and all sort of nonsense. Not that the time and sales is nonsense, but you know what I mean. Gale, still not looking great. We'll see. I don't know if you guys have any tickers. Feel free to throw them out there, but I'm not really seeing much going on right now. Check one more scanner and see what's up with that. MGT? I guess we take a look at MGT again. Let's see. MGT. Oh, it is kind of just still hanging out. Hasn't fallen back to the support. I should actually have an alert there. I'm not sure why I don't. Thought I had one. There we go. Probably have some resistance right around here. Might be a little higher up, actually. Yeah, you know what? It's going to be slightly higher. Looks like it's pretty much the $4 mark, actually. So resistance at $4. Put an alert at $4. See if it tests that. And we can maybe push for that high of the day. Almost had a U-shaped breakout pattern here, but didn't quite. The volume, it did actually start coming in towards the potential breakout area, but it wasn't good enough. I wonder what happened there. Maybe people were just scalping it and sold it off too hard, but yeah, it's a shame. Gale, SGY, take a look at SGY, still nothing. SAEX. I was really hoping this thing would come back around when it was testing the resistance here. Also, almost made a nice U-shaped breakout pattern, but didn't manage to break out. And Gale is just kind of being boring and channeling. Not much going on. NWY. Let's take a look. Take a look at NWY. Thank you for the suggestion, MGT and NWY. Let's see. New York & Co. Wow, it really did have some nice movement today. It's funny, I did an analysis on NWI. Let's see, when did I post that analysis? NWY. Posted an analysis on it on the 14th of this month. And I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, it definitely had a nice day today, for sure. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. You got it. Right. There you go. Yeah, it kind of went under my radar. Thanks for mentioning that. Let's see what we can kind of find on this chart. Let's see here. Wow, really good day. So it looks like it is maybe trying to gap up back to that $2 area. Definitely has some gap up potential. If it breaks $2, might see it have some more resistance right around 210. So I'm going to put some support, or rather resistance right around 210. There we go. The only thing is the volume is kind of low. So it would have been kind of tough, you know, like looking at the chart on here, would have been kind of tough to have gotten in. I mean, you could have bought in here, but really there wasn't too much data to go off of. And then just little trading blocks going on, bringing it back up. 164. Definitely would have been a good day trade, though. Just kind of hard to figure out when to buy in, I guess. Right around here, at least the averages were looking good, though. The averages, the RSI was starting to go overbought. And, yeah, that would have been probably a good area to get in. So maybe right around $1.54, swing it up to $1.60, $1.64 area. Not bad at all. I wonder what it does on Monday. Let's see. So we might have some more resistance. Let's see, maybe right around 170-ish. It's kind of flipping back on the time frames. That's the only thing I don't like about Thinkorswim. They're like, you got to keep zooming out and zooming in for the chart to look right. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, maybe right around like 174. Some more resistance on the way up. 173. Let's go with 173. Probably looks about right. I wonder if it gets there today even. It's definitely off to a nice start. So we're looking at the 1 hour chart here. And look, we have almost the full bullish order. We just got to break that 200-day moving average. It's definitely been a really good day for this stock. And if it hits, if it actually hits 174, 173, then the 200-day moving average will probably be below the other averages, and it's going to look really good. Might see it head to $2. And I'm not saying it'll happen today, but it's definitely working its way up really nicely. Good call out on that one. Nice, nice. You're in at 140. Good stuff. Pretty nice profit you're already at now. Just be sure to lock those profits in, you know. I'm sure you know. If the trend starts turning around for whatever reason, maybe if we get to like this area and starts getting denied, just lock in those profits. Pretty good profits you're at now. I mean, it should start gapping up more and more, approaching that $2 area, but nothing wrong with locking some profits. Maybe selling like a fourth of your position or so on the way up, kind of scaling out on the way up. You know, it's all about your risk management, your risk tolerance, I should say. Some people will just hold it the entire time. So it's really up to you. Like, in my opinion, though, I do like to kind of scale out. Sell some at some profit, keep some more, and see what happens. Looks like Gale is definitely having a tough time now. Yeah, pretty boring. Just kind of hanging out in that channel. Not much action. I hear SP Bio actually had some moves today. Oh, wow. So LabU would have been a really good ET... Was it ETF or ETN? Let's see. I always forget. LabU. Doesn't say. What the heck? Oh, it's an ETF. Okay. So LabU would have been a pretty good buy today. SP Bio breaking that pivot, headed right up to the next one. Kind of fell down mid-channel now, but could have played it on that break and sold it at this pivot. So it would have been pretty good. I wonder what that gain would have been exactly. Let's take a look. LabU. Probably somewhere around like 28 to around the 30 area, mid-30 area. Pretty sweet. Missed out on that one, unfortunately. Let's take a look at GDX. So GDX just kind of channeling. Had a really good day. Really good week so far, actually. Let's see. Where was Monday? So Monday right here. Yeah, GDX from about 26.59 to about 20.77. So Nugget would have been a good buy and hold this week. Monday, Nugget. Going from about Wow, look at that. From jeez, for real. The low of the week about 110. The high of the week 141. That is definitely more than I was expecting, even actually. Nugget is definitely a winner this week. And let's go back to MGT. We didn't really spend too much time on that one. So, MGT. For Mr. Yoons. MGT pretty much just stuck in this channel. $3.88 to $4. Now, that's not a bad opportunity to play the channel. Let's see, $3.88 to $4 would be 3%. Pretty safe 3% gain you could have made playing that channel. But unfortunately, it hasn't really tested the bottom of that channel. It's just kind of been hanging out in the mid-range area, so not much day trading potential on this today, except obviously right here, where it just kind of ran. But that would have been hard to have gotten in on. I mean, it was kind of just hanging out here. I guess it would have been reasonable to have bought it here on the breakout area when it broke this resistance. And then you would kind of be holding it for, like, what would that be? Let's see, 6:35 to about 6. You probably would have been holding it for about 25-30 minutes before it ran, but not bad. Not bad at all. It didn't really break down the support, so you probably wouldn't have gotten stopped out, and then eventually it would have ran. But if you were playing, you know, if you were playing the breakout, it would have been hard to have gotten in here because it just kind of went so fast. Like, as soon as it broke out, big candle, you would have had maybe a few minutes to have gotten filled here, a minute or two, and then it was just, yeah, you probably would not have gotten filled on these candles. Just too much. Unless you put the bid higher than, you know, where the candle was trading. Like if it was at 380 and you put it for like 383 or so, then you probably would have got filled, but then you're kind of chasing and you don't know for sure. So the next area would have been this resistance at 388. And then it did definitely go nicely up to 407, so that wouldn't have been a bad area. Did come back down once, but probably wouldn't have gotten stopped out. Unless you had like a break-even stop, but I'm not sure if you would have. Let's see. Overall, MGT is definitely having a pretty good week as well. It's unfortunate that they postponed that proxy. That's why we saw this selling off. Interestingly enough, though, so you see if we maybe go to the 30-minute chart instead. 30-minute chart looks a little nicer. So the proxy, I think, was set to come out on Thursday, right? Thursday or Friday. And then, I apologize, there's like a big loud trash truck going on outside, so if you guys hear that, I apologize. It is pretty loud, so you might. Anyways, MGT ran into that proxy due date, and then that's when they declined. They came out with that press release saying the proxy was going to be delayed until, I think, Monday or Tuesday of next week, and then we saw it selling off. Now, what's cool, though, is that when we started that run into the proxy meeting, we were trading in this range of about 325 to about 337, and the final area where we ended up closing off the selling off was still nice, really high above that, at 380 to about 390. So the selling off wasn't as hard as the overall run into the proxy, so still pretty bullish. MGT is still pretty good. And then today, pretty good day for MGT as well. Hasn't held the high of the day, but it hasn't come back down either. It's still up in this channel, so not too shabby at all. And that's about it for me today, guys. I'm going to be ending the stream now. Proxy is supposed to come out on the 30th. There you go. Thank you, Josh Yoons, for the correction. Yeah, there's not much action going on now, and I'm going to run out and get some breakfast. This coffee is definitely giving me energy, but it's not helping my stomach at all, so I'm going to be heading out. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Definitely be streaming some more. Yeah, too bad we couldn't have made some good money today, but at least it was kind of fun. So I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys have a good holiday weekend, and be safe out there. 4th of July probably get a little crazy, so yep, and the market is closed on Monday, of course, so just a heads up. I'm sure you guys know that, but why not throw that out there while we're discussing the 4th, so catch you guys later. Appreciate it, Eric. See ya, Mark, and Josh. You have a good one as well. Take care, guys.